1 month on, and Ranger, the Mars ship, still has its NASA-approved discriminator.
What's Massey doing?
Or rather, not doing. The damn thing's right there in the middle of the bridge, guys. It's not like she can easily covertly replace it.
Well, she's only got 48 hours to do so, or else the whole covert plan fails. How about squirting a tiny drop of water just in the right place so it gets sucked into the discriminator's vent, frying the processor?
What are the odds of that working?
Astronomical.
But it just might work, eh? Why didn't she try that at any time during the last month?
Or maybe she did, but we're just seeing the one successful attempt.
Yeah, maybe. Meanwhile, on Mars, Dev and Ed want to gain access to North Korea's secret camera network so they can spy on the Happy Valley crew, and Lee agrees to help, as long as they manage to get his wife to Mars.
That again?
Well, Dale says he's working on it.
Well, isn't that the same thing Aaliyah said to him?
Yes, it is.
Fool me once, eh?
For a person living in a totally paranoid society, he's unbelievably trusting.
But it doesn't go to plan, and the whole operation starts to slowly get exposed. First, the North Korean commander finds the spying device and complains to Poole about it. This leads her to realize that a whole bunch of highly specialized equipment has been stolen from the Phoenix, equipment which can be used to communicate with a spaceship, and the only one in the area is Ranger. She passes on her findings to NASA, who, in conjunction with Moscow, conclude that someone on Mars wants to sabotage the mission.
Well, they get it wrong, though, and think someone wants to blow up the asteroid or Ranger herself.
They're obsessed with explosions because of what happened in the refinery. But did they forget that explosion was caused by their crew who tried to jerry-rig the machinery?
The fact they got the wrong end of the stick is neither here nor there, guys. It makes them activate their CIA and KGB assets on Mars, who start looking for who's responsible. They think Dale is, and so they beat the crap out of him.
Well, not very effective at their job if they resort to torture so quickly.
Or maybe that's exactly the job description.
While this is happening, the North Korean commander looks through old security footage and realizes that Dale somehow has access to one of the forbidden unfinished levels and proceeds to investigate on his own.
On his own? Why not take a few goons with him?
So he can be jumped and rendered unconscious, that's why.
Bloody ridiculous. Never go anywhere without backup. Hasn't he seen any movie?
Well, he's, North Korean.
Good point.
But in a surprise twist, the one who knocks him out is Lee himself.
There goes his career prospects.
And in the middle of all that, Kelly asks Ed why he's being so evasive, and in a surprising moment of emotional clarity for Ed, he tells her he fears becoming a senile old man, and that's the reason he never came back to Earth, as on Mars, he feels useful and part of a meaningful project that will endure. Oh, how nice. We don't often see the big guy being so vulnerable. And then there's Margot and Sergei.
Now, I told you their meeting last episode didn't make sense, right?
Yeah, you did.
How did Margot elude her CIA and KGB detail to meet him? They make a big show of how meeting him again to discuss the maths and physics of the asteroid capture would be far too dangerous as she's watched 24/7. Yet, that didn't seem to bother her last episode.
Well, this time it bothers her, and they arrange to meet at Aleda's.
And, okay, Sergei takes every precaution to get there, but they don't even hide what he's in the house, eating dinner in front of the big windows and all that.
There is an interesting conversation during the dinner, though, that Sergei is aware that once the asteroid reaches Earth, there very likely won't be any need to invest any further in Mars, and the colony would eventually die. Are they saying this is the only asteroid worth harvesting?
Well, it's a ridiculous angle to take, but it certainly feels like that's what the top brass in Houston are thinking too.
Seems the only ones who really want this asteroid to go to Earth and not Mars are the bean counters. Sergei also suggests a daring plan to Margot. Seek asylum in Brazil in exchange for helping with their burgeoning space program. That explains the title of the episode. Yeah, that title was a little bit of a head-scratcher at first.
So he'll leave his wife? Just like that?
For the chance to live with the one he truly loves? It's harsh in some ways, but in others, it makes sense. Well, as you suspected, Sergei was likely being compromised since the initial meeting. I think Moscow didn't do anything about it as his knowledge was useful to help with the mission, until now.
So, to recap, Massey successfully got the interceptor device switched, but Dev and Ed's desire to spy on the base using North Korean tech leads to their plan being slowly uncovered by the North Korean commander and Danny Poole, with NASA thinking this is a terrorist plot to destroy the asteroid and or Ranger itself, raising the stakes for the finale. The North Korean commander is captured, Dale is badly beaten up, and Margot and Sergei are destined never to be together. Yeah, that's the one element here that annoyed me. It was too obvious since the last episode.
You think Margot set him up?
What? No! I never thought of that. It's just that initial meeting was just too lax in terms of security concerns. I don't even know how Margot got there at all, and it sadly sealed his fate.
One month on, and Ranger the Mars ship still has its NASA-approved discriminator.